So this is not the Military Spouse 101 orientation that your husband probably tells you about right when you get to your duty station. This is like, that's just a little overview. This is a dive deep course.
It is.
It really covers all the bases, really sets you up for success. I'm Jessica and this is Kira, and she's our wonderful guest host this week, and we're missing a couple of our friends, but Kate is home with her son. He is not feeling too well, and Olivia is on vacation in Pennsylvania visiting family.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's just the two of us today, but that's okay because we have so much amazing information for you. I'm so glad that Kira is here because today we're going to be talking about Compass, which is a new spouse kind of orientation course, right?
It is.
Yeah. So before we get into the nitty gritty, I'd just like to find out a little bit about you. Okay. What branch of the military are you affiliated with?
We are in the Navy.
Okay.
And my husband is on the Truman.
Awesome. And how long has he been in?
My husband has been in for 13 years. So 7 more to go.
Awesome. Yep. And then retirement, right?
Yes.
Yep.
And then as long as the Navy lets us out, retirement. Yes.
Awesome.
And then we'll be good to go.
So she's got a wealth of information, I'm sure, being in with him being in as long as he has been.
Me too. I like to, I was in the military as well. I was in the Navy for 6 years. And then when I got out, I found Compass, and it was a great volunteer opportunity for me to connect with the other spouses and kind of add some of my insight, along with, adding in what I've learned as a military spouse along the way. So I kind of have the sailor aspect and the spouse aspect, and you bring it together and it makes a perfect pair.
Yeah, she's got all the bases covered.
All the bases.
All right, so besides, I know we're going to talk about Compass mainly because that's just kind of your area of expertise, yes. But I do know that there's other programs that new spouses can look into. I know Fleet and Family offers like a new spouse orientation.
There are. I think a lot of the great programs that military spouses have opportunities to are military Fleet and Family support centers. Mm-hmm. They have courses like Military Spouse 101 where they'll go over like how you get your ID card and how you sign up for Tricare and how you sign up for dental and what's the vision plan. So it's kind of like a crash course. It's generally about 1 day, and they have individuals come in from like household goods and everything like that, so you get a rough overview of what's available on your base per se.
Yeah.
And then there's also a great program out now, fairly new but gaining momentum, is the Military Spouse Advocacy Network. It's a great program in the aspect that it represents all the branches, including the reservists, the Coast Guard, everybody, and they pair up seasoned spouses with new spouses, and you follow them along throughout their entire first duty station. So, you learn, this might be your first move, or it might be your first time having a kid and all of that such, and the seasoned spouses are there to guide you. So it's a very awesome program.
That's amazing. That would be, I wish I had known about that when I was a new spouse, because that's invaluable.
Right.
Just to have somebody there with you.
And it's just
like hold your hand and walk you through it all.
Helpful, and like I said, if they don't know the answer, they can ask another seasoned spouse, or it could be a thing where, well, my friend's in the Marines. Well, you can ask another mentor as well as what type of guidance they can give each other. So it's spouses helping spouses in the end.
Awesome. Yep. I love that. All right, so Compass. Let's get into the nitty gritty. What is Compass?
Compass is a course that is pretty much a military spouse or Navy spouse sponsorship. So it's military spouses teaching military spouses. So seasoned spouses teaching other military spouses about the everyday Navy life. So it covers everything from Navy traditions to deployments to finances to local insights in the general area that you are. Compass itself has 22 locations all throughout the United States. There's also some in Guam and Japan. And the great part about Compass is that if you find a need for them in your area, you can always request to start it up as well. So it's a great opportunity for seasoned spouses to teach new spouses. And the great part about Compass that I like too is that there's no rank. So you'll never know if I'm talking to Captain Smith's spouse, and you'll never know what their last names are. So it's just a one-on-one, your name is blank, my name is Kira, and that way there's none of that fraternization feel or that intimidation factor. So it's a really great opportunity for spouses just to be able to sit back and talk to each other. and have that peer one-on-one conversation where you could ask, like, so I heard this
Yeah.
that's going on, and ask about, like, oh, how do I move my car, or I'm having a home port shift to Japan, how is that going to affect me, and how am I going to do this? And you can get those answers.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I love that you said that intimidation factor isn't there, because we've talked about on our show before how as a new spouse, number one, you're intimidated in general, but then to throw on top of it, like, oh, this is the CEO's wife, or this is the so-and-so's wife from the ship, that it just makes it harder to maybe speak up, and you just feel...
Yep, and I feel like Compass is a great course, because we always talk about how sailors have the DET program, the delayed entry program, to kind of get them ready for the military.
Yeah.
And then you have boot camp, which gets you seasoned for the military. And then we throw you into the nitty gritty of your first duty station, where you're eating, breathing, and living the United States Navy. Well, spouses don't have that.
Yeah.
So all we have are courses like Military Spouse 101 or Compass. And a lot of times we're relying on the experience of others and the seasoned spouses who be like, what am I supposed to wear to a Navy ball?
Yeah.
Why do we have these traditions, and why can't I wear a neon pink flamingo colored dress? And all of these questions that you might be intimidated to ask on a Facebook forum, but you can come to Compass and you can get a little bit more information.
Without the judgment.
Without the judgment.
Yeah.
There's no judgment in Compass. There is none of that judgment. There's no ridicule. There's not a dumb question. We always say the only dumb question is not asking the question. So our big thing is to make you feel comfortable, and we just want you to remember that everyone was once a new spouse. So it's one of those things that even a CO spouse or an admiral spouse, they were once flying solo too and trying to figure it all out. So,
and I would imagine too that that's such a great way to sign up for one of these courses, not only to prepare yourself for what your life is about to unfold into, but also to meet other people who are going to be at the exact same point in their life that you are right now. Everybody who's taking this course is brand new to this lifestyle as well. And so what a great way to connect and start meeting people right off the bat as soon as you get to a duty station.
I know it's a lot of great opportunities, because you sit there, and we always say, like, I've taken Compass 4 times so far. And it's one of those things that we recommend, is that when you go to a new duty station, to take Compass again. Because everything is different. You learn in local insights about Rhode Island. You learn about Norfolk. You learn about Whidbey Island. You learned about San Diego and stuff. So you kind of get a feel, and you can sit there and be like, where is the best taco joint? Well, you'll know where the best taco joint is. You'll get that attitude. Or, you can talk about Norfolk and say, well, this is Virginia Beach, but this is Norfolk, and this is Chesapeake, and like kind of get an overview of how everything functions, and meet other people that are in your general area to get a feel of. Maybe you don't have kids, but you have a dog, and maybe someone else has a dog, and you do the doggy play dates and stuff. So it's a great opportunity to get that peer one-on-one interaction.
That's awesome. Do you ever have any like veteran spouses come who've been in a while, but they're just find out about Compass? Like, I'm like, I need to take this class. Like, would that be weird if I just showed up and took it?
It's not weird. So, like I said, I was a veteran spouse as well, and so my big thing is, we're always looking for volunteers. And so, how a volunteer for Compass works is you get thrown into the same class just like everybody else. It's a 3-day class, 4 hours a day, so 12 hours altogether. And they go through the topics each day, and you sit there and you learn something. I know when I went through Compass right after I got out of the Navy, I learned something about my LES. And you would think that I was a sailor, I should know my LES, but I was like, oh, look at that, I did. Because our joke is that sailors only know how much leave they have, and they don't really pay attention to anything else. And so it's a true statement. But as a spouse, you're looking and making sure that tax exemptions are right, and making sure that, you're getting paid and all of that. Like, that's more what you're trying to figure out. When am I going to get back paid? When is that showing up? So it's, a big deal, and they go through the LES and try to, explain it. They go through the acronyms, so you feel like a little bit more when your sailor comes home spewing them off, and you're like, what does that mean? Yeah.
It's so funny you mentioned that. We just released a video today about, we played a little game with acronyms to see how many we can get right, and it's so depressing. It's so sad. And you think you know it, but you don't know what it stands. Like, I could say, like, MEPS was one of the acronyms, and I know what MEPS is. I don't know what it stands for. Right. And
there's always that funny joke that there's always a history behind things. And, it's one of those, like we always say, like, well, we use the head. Well, it's because you used to use the front of the ship to use the bathroom. So that's why it's called the head. Yeah. And so, like, there's all these histories, and there's all, like, this, information you need to learn that, like, our enlisted dress shorts have 13 buttons, and that's to represent the 13 colonies. And there's all these crazy things where you're like, that's amazing. That's so historical. how everything ties back to England and how we came over here. And it's just one of those fun, get-togethers, and makes you feel like a little bit more of that prideful spirit that you actually know.
I love it.
What our sailors are up for.
So this is not the Military Spouse 101 orientation that your husband probably tells you about right when you get to your duty station. This is that's just a little overview. This is a dive deep course.
It is.
It really covers all the bases, really sets you up for success. And there's actually, don't they offer one-on-one counseling as well?
Well, generally how it works is that you grow as a group. So every time that we have a course, you get, put into a Facebook group or something like that, where if you had a question afterwards, you can ask them. And it's a safe environment because you went through the course with all these people, you know what content they cover, and that they're, non-judgmental and all of that such. And that way, you can sit there and be yourself and ask a question and get the right answer the first time.
Awesome. I love it. And so is there any cost involved in signing up for one of these courses?
There aren't. A lot of our compasses offer courses during the day and at night. So it just depends, what works best for your schedule. So if you're a working parent or if you're a stay-at-home mom, anything like that, or stay-at-home parent, then there's opportunities to do that. Sometimes they have them in on the weekends or the summers. It just depends what works best for their schedule. But so there's no cost to you. They're generally all the food is provided. So if you have a dinner course, they'll provide you food and such, and you get cake at the end because you have a graduation ceremony. And who doesn't love cake?
Love it.
So
free 99 people.
Free 3 nights of food.
Yeah, might be worth it just for a night.
Just for a night to go away.
Night to go to yourself. Yep. And so if I wanted to sign up for the class, what would that look like? How would I find the right class for me and get registered, all that good stuff?
Yes, so we have a website, it's gocompass.org, and they have listed on there is all the locations. So like I said, there's 22 locations, coast to coast, Guam and Japan, and you click the location that's closest to you. And then they will have a fill-out sheet. So whether you want to be a mentor or if you want to take the class for the first time, you fill out the sheet, you attend the course, and then you go from there. Yeah.
Awesome. Sounds great. All right. Well, we'll be sure to put all of those links down below in the comments. I just want to thank you so much for coming, for stopping by. I know we're a small group tonight, but I feel like we got a lot of information out there.
Still drink my coffee.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to stay here and chat, but we're going to say goodbye to you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Go ahead and subscribe, like, and hit that bell so you stay up to date on all of our future videos. Bye, guys.